Have you ever felt like you're being stretched to your absolute limit? Like every step forward is met with a wall of resistance, and the pressure is just building and building. When we hit those walls, our first instinct is usually to back away. We want to drop the weight. We want to find the path of least resistance. But what if I told you that the very thing you're trying to escape is the exact thing you need to grow? Sometimes we resist what we don't understand. We push back against things that are new information because they challenge our current reality. But you will never know your limits unless you push yourself to them. Today, I am challenging you to face your fears head on. It is time to start breaking down barriers and overcoming obstacles. We are talking about tension and why leaning into the resistance is where you will find your greatest opportunities for growth. You may be feeling overwhelmed by the weight of your circumstances, and you might even be afraid of the pressure. And that's okay. Welcome to And That's Okay, the podcast that empowers you to master your emotional world. I'm Lisa Renee Scott, your host and a passionate believer that every feeling is a signal and every signal holds power. In a world that often tells us to ignore or dismiss our emotions, I'm here to remind you that whatever you're feeling, it's for a reason, and that's okay. Each week, I'll dive into real-life challenges and share realistic experiences to equip you with the framework to name it, claim it, and navigate it, transforming your feelings into your greatest guides. So let's take a deep breath, lean in, and unlock the power of your emotions. Welcome back. I'm so glad you're here with me today because today we're diving into a topic that has been heavily on my mind lately. I want to share how I actually came to think about this episode. It was twofold. First, I have been working out consistently, and if you spend any time in the gym, you quickly learn a fundamental truth. Tension builds muscle. If you don't have resistance, if you don't put the muscle under tension, you are not going to build anything. In fact, exercise science tells us that time under tension is one of the most critical factors for muscle growth. You literally have to break the muscle fibers down through resistance so that they can build back stronger. And as I was lifting, I immediately correlated that with life. How often do we find ourselves in a season where we are feeling some immense tension and resistance? We feel the heavy weight of our circumstances and we immediately label it as a bad thing. But just like in the gym, if you want to build your character, your resilience, and your capacity, you need that resistance. Now, before we go any further, we have to make a clear distinction because tension is not the same as stress. If we are going to use tension to grow, we have to understand the difference between the two. Stress is reactive. It's your body's response to an external demand that often leaves you feeling overwhelmed, depleted, and off track. Stress happens when you feel like your circumstances are outstripping your ability to cope. Tension, on the other hand, is the stretch. Psychologically, tension can be an incredibly productive force. It is the awareness of the gap between where you are right now and where you want to be. A renowned psychologist, Viktor Frankl, is known to say, what a man actually needs is not a tensionless state, but rather the striving and struggling for a worthwhile goal. Tension has purpose. It means you are engaged in the heavy lifting of your own life. So how do we handle this when we feel it? We use the first two steps of our core process. First, you have to name it. Name it is the awareness of the feeling you are experiencing. When you feel that tightness, that discomfort, I want you to pause and identify it. You can say to yourself, I am feeling tension right now, or I am feeling resistance right now, and that's okay. Don't run from it. Don't mask it. Name it for what it is. And then next, you have to claim it. Claim it is the validation that the feeling you have is for a reason. You are claiming the purpose behind the pressure, acknowledging that this tension isn't here to destroy you. It is here to develop you. When you claim it, you take ownership of the experience. You recognize that the resistance is simply the weight you need to lift in order to build your emotional and mental muscles. Dr. Carol Dweck, she pioneered the research on the growth mindset. In a growth mindset, challenges are exciting rather than threatening, she says. When you name it and claim it, you shift from feeling threatened by the resistance to being excited by the opportunity it presents. And this brings us some hard questions you need to ask yourself today. I want you to really think about these. Do you have room for growth? What is your current mindset? Are you viewing your challenges as threats or as training? Because that is a true mind shift. Who are the people you need to connect with in order to help you push past your current limits? And where are the places you need to go mentally, physically, spiritually to step into your next level? Growth requires us to step out of the familiar. Statistics show that a vast majority of people will actively avoid change because they fear the discomfort that comes with it. We accept discomfort when it builds our physical bodies. So we must accept it when it builds our character and our resilience. Now that we have named the tension and claimed its purpose, we have to move into the final step of our process. Navigate it. Navigate it is all about the intentional next steps. How do we actually lean into this resistance in our daily lives? I have 4 realistic, actionable steps that you can implement this week to navigate the tension that you're feeling. Step 1 is to conduct a tension audit. Take 10 minutes with a journal and write down the areas in your life where you feel the most resistance right now. This is beneficial because you can't navigate what you haven't already clearly defined. By auditing your tension, you can pinpoint exactly what is stretching you. And this allows you to direct your energy efficiently rather than just feeling generally overwhelmed, because that's very vague. Step 2 is to apply progressive overload to your goals. In weightlifting, progressive overload means gradually increasing the weight to keep challenging the muscle. So, for example, if you can do 6 to 8 reps of a particular weight and your muscles are just tired, like you're squeezing out the last 2, right? That is great. But then you do that over time and it gets easier and to where you can do 15, 20. No. You have to add weight to it so that you continue to build, so that you continue to have that resistance and that tension so that the muscle continues to grow. And we do this in our lives. I want you to choose one area where you are facing fear and take one small, slightly uncomfortable step towards it today. It prevents paralysis. There is something commonly called analysis paralysis or decision paralysis, and it occurs when the fear of making the wrong decision or the overwhelm of having too many options leads to a state of freezing, preventing you from taking any action, preventing you from taking the next big step in growth. So take one small, incremental challenge that builds your capacity and confidence without breaking you down. Just one small step, just like you add a little bit of weight. Step 3 is to seek out one uncomfortable space or conversation. So I want you to identify one person you need to connect with or a place you need to go that intimidates you just a little bit. Make the connection or show up in that space this week. This is beneficial because growth happens outside of your comfort zone. Placing yourself in new environments forces you to adapt, learn new information, and break down those internal barriers and those internal assumptions and expectations that may be holding you back. Step 4, reframe your vocabulary. When you feel pressure building, I want you to consciously stop yourself from saying, "I'm so stressed," because that's way too vague. Instead, say, "I am experiencing tension and this is building my capacity." Just like feelings have messages, words hold power. So reframing your vocabulary shifts your brain from a state of panic and stress into a state of purpose and growth. I want to leave you with this fire today. You have incredible, untapped potential inside of you, but it's trapped behind the walls of your comfort zone. The resistance you are feeling right now is not a sign that you are failing. It is the absolute proof that you are growing. Stop praying for an easy life with no challenges. A life with no tension produces no strength. Face your fears head on. When the weights feel heavy, when the new information feels confusing, when the obstacles seem too tall to overcome, I want you to lean in. I want you to push back because that is your moment. You will never know your limits unless you push yourself to them. Embrace the heavy lifting because the strength you are building today is exactly what you will need to carry the blessings of your tomorrow. Take a deep breath. As we wrap up today, I want you to reflect on the tension you are carrying right now. Think about the muscle you are building in this very season. What is this resistance preparing you for? Who are you becoming in the middle of this stretch? Don't rush past the discomfort. Sit with it. Name it. Claim it. And then step boldly forward to navigate it. You have the strength for this, and that's okay. Thanks for tuning into this episode of And That's Okay. I hope our conversation left you feeling validated, empowered, and equipped with practical steps to name it, claim it, and navigate it in your own life. If you found value in today's message, please subscribe, leave a review, and share this episode with someone who needs to hear that their feelings are valid too. And if you're ready to dive deeper into transforming your emotional landscape, you'll definitely want to grab a copy of my book, And That's Okay. It's available on Amazon or through my website. Just check the link in my bio or the captions of this episode. For daily inspiration, reflections, and more tools to support your growth, come connect with me on social media. I would love to hear how you're applying the Name It, Claim It, Navigate It framework in your own life. Before we wrap up, a quick reminder, I am not a licensed doctor or therapist. I'm simply sharing experiences and insights that have helped me and countless others along the way. My mission is to empower you with tools not to replace professional medical advice. Remember, whatever you're feeling or going through, you have feelings, and that's okay.